What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome back to the Nerdy Narrative, and today is Friday, and on Fridays I like to update you on what all I'm reading. I finished my reread of Shauna Maguire's Middlegame. This I reread because next month, I believe May 3rd, is the date that Seasonal Fears is going to come out. That will be book 2 in the Alchemical Journeys series. I'm so excited. This book was so good. This is classified as a fantasy. I feel it belongs more in the science fiction genre. It's all about secret, shadowy organizations, alchemists that are not exactly operating under legal or moral guidelines. And in the midst of all of this are a set of twins, Roger and Dodger, and that is where the beauty of the story is for me, the relationship between the twins. And because of the way this story is laid out, a lot of folks would classify this in the found family trope. So if that's a favorite trope of yours, I think you would really enjoy this. You know, if you're someone who really loves character development, intense, book-long arcs worth of character development, I think this is one for you. But what's most important about this one is if you are an avid rereader like I am, you're going to get your money's worth out of this story. The second time I read it, it was even better and more beloved to me than the first time I read it. And I understood so much more the second time around because of course I knew the ending. I would be lying if I didn't say I'm already looking forward to when I reread this series again in the future. Next, I finally read the first book in the Devabod trilogy by S.A. Chakraborty. Okay, so this one started out a mixed bag for me. I didn't know there was going to be a little bit of romance. And it's not that I have a problem with it, it's just I wasn't expecting it. It's like if you order a Coke in a restaurant, they bring a drink and set it down in front of you. It looks like a Coke. You pick it up, you take a big swig out of it, and it's Diet Coke. It just kind of startles you for a minute. And I have to say, I did not care for the two characters that had this spark. I did not slump them together, I guess you could say. Now, if one of these characters and another character I like more had gotten together, it would have been a different story. As we got into the history of these people, it was very brutal, and the magic and how the different things work, the way that jinns were actually made slaves to resemble the genies that we grew up knowing about, like if you're thinking Aladdin, which I do have to admit, when I read this, I was picturing the characters from the movie Aladdin. I couldn't help it. And the narrator for this book, Sonila Nankani, did an amazing job. She really helped make this a much more enjoyable experience for me when I was doing my immersion reading or when I was walking the dogs and just listening to the audiobook. So to recap, when I started this book, I didn't think I was gonna like it. When I finished this book, I was ready to go right into book 2, so I will be continuing the Devabod trilogy. I am all in. I foolishly thought I knew where this story was going to go when I started it because it was light and fluffy. Boy, did I get it wrong. There was no way my little brain would have ever anticipated everything that was going to take place in this story. The author did a great job unfolding the story in a way that just kept me engaged. It was so unpredictable. I was not expecting any of the things that happened at the end. I would have never in a million years guessed. I can't wait to see where book 2 is going to take me with this series. So those are the 2 books that I finished this week, and I actually almost finished a third. I've got a little over 100 pages left in K.S. Veloso's The Wolf of Yarrow. This is yet another book that in the beginning I wasn't sure that I was going to mesh with. If you're someone who does not like stories that tell instead of show, you're not going to enjoy this book. I don't know if the whole series is that way, but there is a whole lot of telling and very little showing. I thought at first that maybe it was just going to be the first few chapters that did that, and then it would morph into a present day action showing of the rest of the story. That is incorrect. I am almost done, like I said, and there's a whole bunch of the main character, Queen Talien, just telling you about her past, the story of her people, the kingdom, how she came to be queen, about her husband. And I'm so torn because on the one hand, her character is a very strong female fantasy character, except she is telling us this story. We're getting it from her perspective. We know what her innermost thoughts are. And while at first I thought the whole telling and not showing was going to get on my nerves, it's actually a really great book. Like, I just started this 2 days ago and I'm going to probably finish it tonight. If not finish it, I'm going to be dang close to it. I'm really intrigued with the politics of this land. This poor queen has really been put through the ringer. It's almost unrealistic the amount of things that have happened to her. But the author does such a great job describing the people and the area that the queen is in where all these things happen that I do feel it is to be expected. But she is just bumbling into one thing after another and just making some bad decisions. I'm very curious as to how it's going to end. I love this book. I did not think I was going to, but I am so caught up in the story that I cannot wait. Another great narrator, Catherine Ho, does this one, and she does a fantastic job. There is one character voice that she does for this guy, Ubeck, that I do not like, but I can get over it. I mean, I don't like the character either, so that could be what part of the problem there is. So that is the only book I'm actually currently making my way through. Once I finish that one, what's going to be next? Well, I will be digging into Zora Neale Hurston's Serif on the Swanee. This is part of the unofficial read-along that Evie from the channel She Was Only Evie and I are doing. If you have read this novel and you would like to chat with us about it, I do have a channel open in the Discord. Currently, only Evie has been putting her thoughts in there because I haven't started it yet. I will have the link to the Discord down below, and these channels stay up because Zora Neale Hurston is an author that I'm going to read and reread for many years, and so those channels will stay in the Discord. So even if you don't have time to read it now and you want to read it later and chat with us about it, you absolutely can. Or if this is one that you've been interested in reading and you want to get some ideas of what we think about it, you can go right there to the Discord and read to your little heart's content. So I am excited to get to this one. Evie has already started it and said some very amazing positive things about it, so I am excited. The next book I will be digging into is going to be Jonathan French's The Free Bastards. This is the third and final book in the Lotlands trilogy, and I will be buddy reading this with my booktube brother Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads. I am excited to finish this trilogy. I love the first two books. I can't wait to see everything that has been brewing in the first two books, what's going to happen in this conclusion of this trilogy, and I'm excited to tell you guys about it. And so that's going to do it. That's all of the things that I read and what I'm still working on and what I plan to read next. Did the Easter Bunny bring any of you any new books in your Easter baskets last weekend? If he did, I want to know what you got. Drop those in the comments down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday, a wonderful weekend as well, and I will catch you in the next one.